Yeah, hi everyone. Let's give a couple of minutes for the rest of them to join. Yeah, I think we can begin the session. Today's session is more to work with any issues or anything to work with any questions, queries to be answered. I think the learning sessions are separate. The session is specifically for any troubleshooting or debugging. Any questions, anything you would like to raise?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Ravi.
Sir, I was trying some questions, but repeatedly I was getting like same error of open API key expired something. Even I tried the next day, even though it was saying like this.
Yes, same to me also.
Okay, so under module 3, the summary page, like the large language models, you have two options to use. One is via AI proxy and the other is via AI pipe. So did you try both the
One
Second
you
one,
said
again explain, sir. What is second one?
Mhm.
sir, can you repeat once the two method which you mentioned?
There are two options to have the OpenAI token. So one is the AI pipe and the other is through AI proxy. So this detail is available in this section 3, the large language models. The moment you click the specific chapter, it opens up and then provides you the details on AI proxy and AI pipe, both the documentation as well as with respect to how to use both the options. So whenever you have a proxy token or a pipe based token, you will have to replace the URL as well as replace the token. Once you are able to achieve that, you should be able to uh, use OpenAI tokens.
Can you once show, sir? Like, can you share my screen and can you please guide once?
So I tried both the method. One is AI pipe and second one is AI proxy through Sadan S Anand. But both of we did not get. Still showing same error.
Just one second. Yeah, can you share the screen? Maybe we'll try to troubleshoot. And I believe this was already covered as a part of live session. Just let me try to pull the live session details. Meanwhile, if someone can share the screen and then
So
we can
can I
walk you
share?
through. Yes, please go ahead.
So can I share my code?
No, the best thing is this is trying to use a API token, right? So can you just ensure that you have actually added the API tokens in the environment settings, and then we'll just call on the environment variables directly in a general script.
Okay.
You need not share the code. It can be like a plain text and then just with the headers and how we want to raise the query.
Sir, has the project one been discussed, like what to do there and what are the mandatory steps?
So I believe we have sessions scheduled tomorrow, and uh, there is one more
So
session
can
on
you
31. So yeah, we'll be working on that. So project one, we are closing out with week GA3, and once it's over, we'll have the separate sessions for project one. They'll be in the upcoming sessions.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Bhavana, please copy the API key and have it save it in your environment variable. My suggestion: do not share the screen with the API key. Can you
okay?
copy that to the environment variable and then, um, yeah. While Bhavana is working on it, any other questions? We can come back once Bhavana is ready. Any specific questions? Any queries? One announcement I would like to make is about the submission date for project one. I think there have been few confusions as in like when the submission date. I think right now we have mentioned in the portal specifically as Saturday 14th June. 14th June is currently the uh, project submission date.
So what is the difference between AI pipe and AI proxy? Like, are they not the same thing?
I think the models and the limit is different.
Any- Sorry, what was it? I heard another.
The models and the limit is different. AI pipe has 10 cents and AI proxy has $1 for within a month's time frame.
It's more of a different description. So one on the models which they support, and one on the way how they are deployed. So there is a slight difference between both A pipe and A proxy. A proxy was something which was used over last couple of terms.
Okay, sir. Sir, but they work on the same concept about like a proxy server so that we don't have to directly interact with OpenAI. Is that the
That is
same
correct.
thing?
That is correct. They bypass. Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
So it's not
And
working.
sir, and sir, how do we have to know where to use pipe and where to use AI proxy?
No, no, both are basically serves the same purpose. Just the models or the variety of models is different over a pipe and a proxy. So essentially, instead of having an API token, when you want an API token to interface with specific service, be it OpenAI, GPT-4 Mini or GPT, whichever version we want to, it's more of what version we are trying and what you need to work out. So
Okay, sir.
yeah. Yeah, and going back, I think Bhavana, you were trying out.
Yes,
Were
it
able
not.
to, yeah, no, were able to load the API key and then try out.
So I try out. It's no, not working actually. Many times from yesterday night I try out actually.
I think this. Okay, let me also check.
It's
Okay,
work for
so
all the, but for question 8 it's not working for me.
no, no, did you try? Let me share the. This is covered in week three, session one. API keys and proxy. This has been covered in detail in the live session. So my suggestion is, did you get a chance to look through the live session?
Again I see where I did mistake. But we did all the question till 7 using AI, but at question 8 we stuck.
No, no, no. The question is live session. The
Yes,
live session, which is on 24th May, that is week 3, session 1.
yes, next
The
Saturday.
detail, yeah, so that we have covered out in detail. I think Jivraj or Kaltan should have covered out the entire section on how to handle API keys and proxy. So, did you get a chance to look through that?
Okay,
I'm sharing the YouTube link again because we have gone in detail about how to handle the API and API proxy.
okay, sir. Again,
You
we
can refer
see.
back, and all these sessions for this term we have started working on summarizing and having chapters for each section. So anything which you want to jump out, you need not work through the entire 2 hours or 2.5 hours specific video, but still you can jump onto specific topics directly from the description in the video. I think this is at 4 minutes 10 seconds. So if you can jump directly to that section, you will handle only the API case and proxy. If you are comfortable with other topics, you can skip the remaining. So it's very specific, or it's easy for you to point out and go to a specific chapter. All the playlists for this current session will have this feature.
And one query is also, can I ask?
Yes.
Regarding GA2, there is a Google Auth that question. I
Which
did
question?
that uh, GA2 Google authentication, that question.
Mm. You mean question number 4? Dual collab?
Uh,
This is the
just
Google
a minute.
authentication one, in which we had to
Yes, yes.
be keys in the Google Cloud. Uh,
I
on,
did that question, but next day when we try to submit other question, it show me error. I write in Discourse also.
okay, what we had to do was in parallel have multiple things open, right? Or maybe just the code we had to paste. I'm not sure about this question, but like when we I was submitting, I had to add at least 3 services running in parallel, and then one I had to shut down and run again, or something like that. I had to do.
Okay, that is a mistake. So that why it is not running properly.
We just
Okay.
It's a
cross
question
just
11.
just cross check if that service was supposed to run when you were submitting it. I don't remember it exactly,
No,
but
it's showing me key error.
No, so I'm trying to understand the problem here. So when you tried out in the portal, did you when you try the authentication, did it work the first instance?
Yes, in first session it worked. Next
Okay.
day it show me wrong. I again try it and I delete all these things and make a new file and did all these things. It's not work. It show
okay,
me error.
key error could be this that that default thing, right? Your client ID is actually not in the default when you make that thing, right? When you had to have the request, the client ID is the thing you're sending to the server. So you
Actually, I'm not a coding background, so it's like a very tricky to me. When we doing, it's like a like headache to me. Every time I facing these type of, I did, you know, I'm trying like a lot of time I spend on one question,
That's
and
really good, Bhavna, because this is what makes you have the coding background. Going through this and getting frustrated. This is what makes you a person of a coding background.
yes, yes, too much.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but is this a project session or a kind of TA session?
No, no. This is more to answer the queries. So this session is more to answer queries and debug or troubleshoot. We have separate learning sessions. Today is not a learning session or a knowledge session.
So will there be a like project session completely attributed to project?
So project one, yeah. If the question is on learning sessions for project one, yeah, we are commencing them probably starting this weekend. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Bhavna, going back, yeah, see, there are a couple of things. Learning out coding might be hard, but the question is on what is the purpose. So there are two things. The GA1, it was basically the a check sheet or a balance where you can find out if we can go ahead with this course or can drop out this course. So that's how the GA1 is designed. So if you're able to successfully do GA1, it's all about putting a little more additional effort on going through the course. So based on GA1's course, you can have a self evaluation on how to handle this course in a better way. Coming back to the specifics on, okay, if there is a challenge with the problem, I see your post. You have mentioned that in the discourse. We are still working on that. But for specific instance, we see that the ID token and the client ID have been shared there. Did you try it once again today? Because we don't see a option that shows correct. Maybe it's a different sense, but we will try to figure out what the challenge is. On the other hand, if you have saved the answer during your first instance, and if you have saved it, probably, let's say if you have done half, you have attempted three questions and then saved it, and then maybe try to add additional three questions in the next day or the upcoming day, and then have six finished, and during that six you had this as an error. Maybe we'll try to troubleshoot on why there's a challenge. On top of everything, we still have the GA2. We have like a live session where we had covered most of these specific modules, especially on authentication and details.
Yes,
So,
I tried on that manner you had taught me in class.
mhm, mhm.
But we I can't handle na troubleshooting all these things. That's why that's the question for me. I did in simple manner, but I
I don't think
can't
you have a
handle
big
any
chance unless
troubleshooting.
until there is specific. So let's say that if there is a problem with Enrock, there could be some problem with the network details which you have in the server side or the client side. So it's the way is, if you are able to follow up with the sessions, you should be able to troubleshoot. Or it's like one step or one foot ahead of or behind the answer. So that's how I see it. And on the contrary, you had all the choice. Like the GA1 was the specific choice for us to explain clearly, like how the course is going to be set.
It's okay. It's from your side. It's okay. But when we taken these diploma, when we completed foundation level and coming to the diploma, my no, from my side, I want only one diploma in data science, not going to the programming. But when we seeing that TDS course, it's prerequisite only MLF. If you say for TDS, it's necessary to complete all the programming part, then I'm not going to in diploma.
No, okay. So let me
That's
take,
the question.
that Siddharth and yeah, Faiz Khan have raised that. We'll come back there. Bhavna, it's very clear. I mean, I would like to reiterate the same question again. When we say prerequisite, let's say in order to set prerequisite for TDS, we have clearly mentioned that GA1 will be your specific section where you
But
can evaluate whether you have to join
no,
or you can still drop out.
it's
And the second thing,
when we opt the TDS, then here you specifically mention you go to the GA1, and then if you're not able to do when we opt the diploma programming, where TDS is, when we go to the portal and see that TDS is only prerequisite MLF only. That's why I choose the diploma in data science. Otherwise, I'm not opted diploma. I leave it after the
maybe, okay,
foundation.
I understand. I think this might be something to do with the process or set which we have to work with the course or
So
the
you
course.
rectify your course,
We'll
basically needed.
we will check that out. What are the possible options that we'll go ahead with that? On the contrary, I mean, the with respect to skill set, there are still room for development. I mean, this will be heavily on the coding side, so it's very clear. And from a prerequisite, let's say the topics which we cover, we make sure that you need not be an Excel or like a super fast coding expert to work on it. You still, if you are able to follow up and then use code effectively, still you'll be able to handle the specific requests that have been raised here. And there are complete learning sessions throughout the course to make sure that you're getting addressed all your queries, not more than 4 to 5 days. Whatever you raise, you should be able to get answer within a couple of days. Point is, if you raise it earlier, you'll get the results earlier. So this is all I think which we have for the I mean, this has been like for the last couple of times we have the same scenario. We have been having multiple learning sessions, multiple details, and collaboration is another approach which you have mentioned. We have collaborations, like when we say collaborate, we recommend everyone to collaborate and work together. So there are multiple options by which you'll be able to handle the course, and you still have different options. So for time being, let me move on to Siddhant.
Uh, so I have
Yes.
last means I have issues with respect to GA2 actually, not with respect to GA3.
Okay.
The thing is that first question was with respect to that fast API deployment on Vercel.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, what happened? I was able to deploy Vercel, but whenever I wanted to check it on in portal, it was showing it is not able to retrieve the data itself. But I don't know what exactly happened. I asked I think I asked Jivraj. Uh, so he gave some steps. I followed it, but still it didn't work at all.
Okay. So
And
this is
another thing was with respect to that Enrock that address they have, whatever address they have given, means whatever they have changed. I did change that also, but I saw it's not able to fetch itself. I don't know what was happening with those two questions. And I was
On
working on
that,
the last day, so I had no option to do
when
anything.
we were solving ngrok questions using Linux, we were facing a lot of issues. That's why I used Collab, and even I solved that question in just a minute
Mhm.
only through Collabs. But when I was using Linux, yeah, same issue I faced actually. A lot of hours I spent on that questions.
Okay. So the quick question is, Siddhant, do you use Linux OS? I mean the WSL?
Yes, I use WSL itself.
Okay, so it's a Windows and WSL based Ngrok. Okay. I'll have quick questions. So I think Jivraj might also have recommended you the same steps. Like, were you able to ensure that your course is set up and you have checked the network tab in the Chrome DevTools? Were you able to find whether there is any specific error that you have faced?
Yes, I did face that 403 error. I did communicate with him. He gave some headers which to replace with star and remove other
Mhm.
things. I did
Mhm.
that. Then also it didn't work out itself.
Mm, okay. Okay. I see your comment. Just one second. So the I see one comment on 4 days back where I mentioned about the Olama service, but that's for a different question, right?
That Olama, sir, with respect to that itself, actually Olama is running.
Okay.
We checked actually at the end of the session. We checked. I think Jivraj. I think I don't remember. So, but and we checked it. We checked, and Olama was running successfully. Then we tried for some time. Then he gave that header, and someone also faced the same issue. So he was. His problem was the same thing. So his problem got solved. I followed the same thing, but my problem. I never means I was not able to resolve that issue itself, and it was the last day, so I didn't have any option also.
Okay. Mm. Maybe one suggestion I have is I mean, one recommendation is raise out the question little early, like maybe not at the end of the term, because let's say if there is a specific issue with related to environment settings, we'll be able to help you better. Uh, I think, yeah. So I think Jivraj has been working on that. Let me, yeah, wait for Jivraj to respond on that. Or, yeah, I think. So this is basically on your Fast API deployment in Vercel, right?
Fast API deployment on Vercel and Enrock using WSL.
Okay.
Both questions.
So let me take a note of it. I think, yeah. Come back on specific environment settings. We haven't come across this issue on the uh, previous section.
What
No,
was the issue regarding Versal?
the Vercel issue was that on my local system, I was able to get the API results, but the same thing when I used to when I pasted URL on in the portal, it was not able to retrieve itself.
Oh, have you tried all APIs and endpoints?
Yes, I did try with. I mean, initially I deployed one application. I thought there might be issue. Then I deployed another one. I changed the endpoints and I tried many times. It never got resolved
Like
itself.
when you were hosting that thing, so on that time, what it was showing? It was showing some error, or it was okay on that time when you are hosting that, I mean, API.
Hosting API it was well and good. It was showing that I did return JSON. It was showing on the Vercel that screenshot. It was showing the exact thing what I wanted. So basically, I didn't have any issue while deploying. The issue came when I was submitting the answers.
Yeah, I actually faced the same issue when I mean in when I'm submitting my answer to the TDS site. So it was saying that it's not a correct format. I mean you have to change the format. So then I changed my code, then it worked perfectly.
Ac- Actually, I have one question. Is there any authentication disabling is with respect to that? Was it the issue with respect to authentication?
Question number?
Uh, it was question number, I don't
Question number
remember.
6, right?
Question number 6, I think. Yes. Yes, question number 6.
I didn't remember right now, but I solved all the questions of GA2 uh, successfully because I also faced a lot of issues. But at the end of the day, I solved all questions, and I can understand that there are a lot of issue we are facing while solving all GAs due to configurations and system issues.
One last thing before I close it. See that with your section, so after launching it to the Vercel app, did you get a JSON response, or you still
Yes,
had
sir.
you got a JSON response?
Yes,
And
I
was it
got
in
the
the right
JSON
format?
response.
Yeah, was it in the right format? Like you have a sample format, right? In
Yes, exactly the same format it was giving, and I tested the same API on a browser also.
Mhm.
Then also it was working. It was giving the exact answers which I wanted.
Mm, okay. Maybe yeah. So you have noted, you have shared this detail in the GA2 thread, right? So we'll try to figure out why or what the problem is. We'll be able to figure out where. Have you shared the screenshots attached?
No, actually, I didn't share. Actually, I just directly talked with Jivraj itself. I didn't
Okay.
share it.
And yeah, the best session is, let's say, just to make sure that this helps us both this term and as well as for the next term. Like whoever have tried and unable to handle, we are. I mean, as you see, we are making corrections and we are making modifications to have all corner cases to be addressed in each and every course. Like these are some things which can pop up. Maybe this is something which needs a configurational change, so we can make it effective. Like even before. So as we go through the learning sessions, we can have one of these as already covered topic. So just to be for the future sessions. My request is if you can add your final screenshots to the GA thread, we'll try to figure out and see if there's a problem with the environment or with something else. We'll do
Currently, I
that.
do not. Currently, I do not have the option to. Means I didn't take the screenshots itself.
Okay, okay then, understood. That's fine. Okay. Just moving on to FiceCon. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Actually, my question is, what are the steps and how can we proceed for the project one?
Okay, so project one, the plan is to have like a breakthrough session starting next. I think it's scheduled for tomorrow and the day after. So we are closing out to GA3 and then moving on to the project one. So typically,
How
yeah.
much time it will take to complete project?
See, typically there are a couple of things. One is the specific virtual TA which we are planning to build. Some of the things is you may see a screenshot which has Japanese characters in it, but we'll be using only response in English. Like all the evaluations will be in English. And from a deployment perspective, deployment doesn't go on a specific route, as in like you can use Olama, you can use online GPT, or you can use API, regular expressions, even AWS mechanical turks is also fine. I think any sorts of options is I mean, from a deployment perspective, all we require is you see the evaluation script and you have to deploy or expose the endpoint where we can have the deployment done. Yeah. So you deploy an application which has a public URL, and whenever we raise a specific question, the answer should be derived from or based on the content, course content, and discourse posts between Jan 1, 2025 to April 14, 2025.
Uh,
There is no
uh,
specific restriction on the deployment tools. Yeah, yeah, yes.
so my question is, what should we know before proceeding the project? Like I know fast APIs, web scraping, and what others?
So for scraping, Discourse has an API. So I think we'll Discourse has an API, and you should be able to scrape the data via API. There might be certain restrictions. I'm not sure if all the reader sessions have API access. There is a specific Discourse API access control, but not sure if that is available for everybody. Uh, However, we'll have. I mean, from a scraping option, again, there is no specific limit as such on what or how you want to scrape it.
Yeah,
For
then
the course content, it's straightforward. You have the JavaScript, you have the entire course content publicly available as a URL. And for Discourse, there can be options of API. You can even download. If I'm not wrong, there was a long back. There was one option to download them as individual CSVs. Like each record has a separate. I mean, each post has a separate record with record ID, the creator, and specifically like an valid API response. I think there was a CSV export as well. But yeah, there are different ways to scrape the discourse post as well. On large, I mean, to go in detail, I would still wait for the learning sessions where you have different options explored across like whatever
oh,
different options we have. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any hands raised. Any questions? Let me open up.
Sir, there is a class on Monday. Actually, I see a mail in late night. There is a class, but then it is not in calendar.
No, there is a live session tomorrow, if I'm not wrong, 8 to 10, right?
Hey, it is on calendar, but we on Monday. Uh, it's on I think 26.
One second. Let me check the calendar. Okay, so you have one session tomorrow, and
I got a mail on there is a class on 26, but I saw the mail at late night.
yeah, there is one session on
Yes,
one session on
I
29th, one session on 31, and are I mean, are you talking about the session on? I don't see any session on Monday. There is one session on Sunday though. So which date is it,
so I
Bhavan?
got
When
a
you say
mail
Monday?
from I am Monday 26 May 26. I got a mail, but I see at late night.
I mean,
8
okay.
to
So
10
couple of things.
p.m.
So understood. So right now, all the calendar live sessions are something which you can attend, and if you even miss it, you still have them loaded in the playlist. The YouTube playlist has a complete sessions, end-to-end coverage with captions, transcription, and
Will it
Japanese
have?
solutions. Sorry.
So there is a session. There is a session on 26 May, or not?
No, no. 26 May is already over, right?
Sorry,
So
sorry, your
26 May.
voice
If
is
okay, the
breaking.
question is if you missed the 26th May session. No, no. If you have missed the 26th May, which is Monday's live session, it will be loaded. I mean, it should be uploaded in the playlist in a couple of days.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Suyesh Raj.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Yes.
Sir, for question 3, there is no checkbox to submit. Week 3 one.
I mean, you have also asked for project one deadline, right? So project one deadline is June 14th. That is, yeah.
Okay.
And
June 14.
yeah,
Okay,
June
sir.
14th. Project one. Yeah, right now, that's, yeah, what you see June 14th is the submission date for project one.
Sir, and this there is no checkbox for week 3, question 3.
Week three, question three. Yeah, because you can see that there is no answer box above, and figure out how to enable it. So you can use Chrome Dev Tools, and that is one of the sections which you have already covered in previous sessions. If you remember, yeah, if you can explore on development tools, browser dev tools, and specifically on, yeah, CSS selectors and browser dev tools. In development tool, you should be able to identify how to enable the specific section.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And Pawan Kumar, I think we mentioned that you have added hash host rewrite rights, and it worked for you. And is this the fast API deployment in Vercel? Okay. So that maybe if you can check this out, if that works for you. Meanwhile, we'll see if we don't have see, generally how we resolve errors is we try to recreate that scenario in our end, and then try to address the specific error. Since we weren't able to recreate your scenario, unless until we are able to deploy that in your setup, it's very, very hard for us to work. Okay, this was for Enrock Olama server. Understood. Okay. I don't see any hands raised. Any other questions?
So I saw I get a mail regarding the project run. Can you explain?
So what was mail?
So there is a point like you will not be evaluated if you do not get 2 by 2 in your submission. What is this? Or this if you get a prerequisite score of 2 by 2, your submission is accepted. What is this?
See, okay. So did you open up the link, Bhavna? The one link which was shared for project. There are
Yes.
two questions.
Yes, there is two questions. Virtual
Yeah,
TA and virtual TA host.
correct. So that's exactly which I mentioned as the score 2 by 2.
Okay. If you did not get 2 by 2, then
No, no, see, there are prerequisites. So when we say prerequisites, it's more like whether, see, the idea is we have an evaluation script. If we can go through the project one specification, we have mentioned like how the evaluations happen. So evaluation basically happens through once you deploy the TA, we will do one kind of prerequisite that will ensure that you have deployed the TA and TA is active. However, the scoring depends upon how we send out specific questions and have hit the questions the endpoint and get the expected answer. So that's basically how the evaluations happen. Now, if you that's what we have mentioned, that if you get a prerequisite score of 2 by 2, your submission is accepted. And but that doesn't mean that 2 by 2 means that you have got a complete project score. Uh, 2 by 2 will give you the scores based on the evaluation, like what the questions are sent and how the API responds. The prerequisite score is just to just to ensure that your application is active and ready for evaluation. It doesn't mean that you will get a complete score for the specific deployment. The actual project score is based on in the project. That's what I mentioned. In the project itself, there is the project for .yaml, how the questions are specifically tested. We have a mod, so we have a test YAML file. You can see project TDS virtual TA prompt for YAML. So that is basically a test script that you can use for evaluating your script. We will have a different modified version with 10 realistic questions and corrected answers. Based on the corrected answer, you will have the scores that have been added. So that's what I mentioned in the email. The submission will just tell whether the application is active.
Hello.
so I get the second mail getting 2 by 2 does not give you any marks. The previous second mail we got, the previous announcement had a
So
slight
again,
error.
does not give you any marks is basically that's what I mentioned. So the 2 by 2 means that your application is active. It's just checking the prerequisites whether your application is active and your submission is good. When you say good, your submission is ready for testing. It doesn't mean any scores that are, you cannot check any scores with your submission. The scores will be checked based on based on only after your submissions are active. There are challenges even there are sometimes when we have challenges where the submissions were not clear, like there were some errors with the application and there were back and forth discussions on how we have to do the evaluation. In previous times we had certain struggle there where we wanted the students to rehost because their submissions were not accurate. There were some minor errors with accurate with the submissions. So that's why we have made this stepwise where you have a prerequisite. If your prerequisite 2 by 2 is correct, it means that your application is ready. It doesn't mean that you will get scores because of 2 by 2. There is no scores that are awarded just for the 2 by 2 which has been mentioned there. 2 by 2 means that your application is active, but the scores are awarded based on the further evaluation that is done based on the active application that you have deployed.
One question in my mind, can I ask?
Yes, please.
For those people who is not a coding background, are you teach these things how to go into the
There
project?
are sessions, exactly. So, Bhavna, there are learning sessions across this course. Every week we have separate sessions specifically to handle each and everyone's problems which they are facing with right from setting up WSL, setting up or understanding basic Linux commands, figuring out with each environmental questions. Like if you have set it up and then you still have a problem, that's a session where you can bring up and then have or raise questions. We have learning sessions throughout the week,
Okay.
and specifically for the project, the sessions are going to start from, if I'm not wrong, from tomorrow, but we'll figure out if the GA3s are all solved. If that's the case, we'll start it from tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
But the biggest thing is, if you have struggle with coding background, the only thing is start, explore, and whenever you are finding an issue, raise it out in the learning sessions. These learning sessions are places where you can raise, especially the trouble which you're facing with your specific environment.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, I joined late. Can you tell me? I mean, do we covered anything for today's session? Do
No,
we?
this is not a learning session,
Okay.
Kratika. Yeah, this is more like a query session. If you have any trouble, any queries, any questions, we address the questions here. There
Yes,
is.
yes, yes. So I have one query. In the
Mhm.
graded assignment too, there was a question on reducing the size of the picture to
Correct.
400 KB. I did
Mhm.
it somehow, but I want the proper way how to do it. So that was the question number second, GA2.
Okay. 1 second. This is on. This is on GA2. Second question, image compression, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So understood. And you wanted to know like what? I mean, I didn't get the question. You were able to solve.
Yes, I did solve, I mean, using other tools,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
we don't suppose to use it. Just sake of assignment, I did it somehow. But I
Mhm.
also tried doing by myself using Pillow library and whatever the things they suggested in the question.
Mhm.
But still, it was taking a lot of time, or I came to 550 something. But after that, I didn't able to do it through code and through different things. Is there any specific method we can do? Because previously when I asked, so they said after once the graded assignment will be done, you can ask this question, we'll tell how to do it.
Understood. I think. I'm not sure if this was covered during the Monday session. Yeah, during the next learning session, I would recommend you to begin with this specific question. I think, and on a larger note, there is no one right way to do it. There are multiple ways to handle this specific image compression. I mean, we have mentioned a couple of tools even in the question itself, like Scoosh or Image Optim or Sharp. So
Yes,
there
yes,
are different ways to handle
I,
it. Yeah, there are different
I
ways to
did.
handle it,
Hmm.
not just one single way.
Hmm.
Maybe if you want to learn out with different options, still you can. Or let's say if you had a trouble with specific option, let's say you tried with Pillow and you're not able to finalize, or you're not able to. You had some error, right? Or it was keep on loading and you were not able to resolve it.
No, I tried with Pillow also. I tried all the libraries that was listed. It was
Mm-hmm.
compressing, but the size was
Mm-hmm.
really low that through that I wasn't able to do that.
Okay,
Yes. That was that's the thing I was facing.
understood. One second. Let me check if this was covered in the previous session. Okay, no, this wasn't covered in the previous section. So we maybe, oh yeah, possibly we should be covering it in the upcoming sessions. So you can raise it up the specific questions when we have that learning session.
Okay, okay. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello,
Yes, yes, Jawan.
sir. I have doubt on GA3 question number that question number Demonstrate. So that prompt engineering question number 11.
One second.
Sir, I have tried too much, but uh, it is not saying yes.
Oh, the okay, the question where you entered the system or yeah, the uh, specific LLM to respond. Yes. See, there are multiple ways. I mean, there are even 4 to 5 different ways by which you can make sure that LLM is answering yes, which is case sensitive. Yeah, I think camel case. This is an interesting question, and you'll be amazed by the way by which we can have this workout. I think since the submissions are still due, we may I mean I may not be in a position to explain how this is possible. Uh, but it can be multiply. I mean, I would say this is more like being a rather than from a, coding perspective, you can be creative and trying out or making the LLM to answer.
Sir,
So I would say think about more on a creative sense rather than from a coding sense because it's more like a prompt engineering. You have to make there are different ways. That's all. Just my suggestion is try to be creative, like more creative, and try to think out of the box perspective, and see how we can make sure or say or make sure an LLM is responding you back with this.
sir, I have given so much time, sir, in this question, but couldn't
The
figure
clue,
out.
yeah, the clue here is it's not a straightforward answer. As you can see there, it has to prompt you with yes, and there are different ways by which you can handle it. So the question, I mean, you have to be much more creative on how we handle this. So that's the only.
So, sir, do we have to give it any code or just by
No,
prompt,
no, this
like
is completely with prompt.
completely wait? So, no need to uh, give it any code.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's nothing to do with code. It's completely with when we say prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is all about the specific prompt that you give. So think more creative on how we can develop this prompt. It's more to do with the creative side of understanding how the LLM does. So this is nothing to do with code. Like coming back, it has no basics on code. Let's say you wanted a specific. Uh, uh, you can teach anything to the LLM, and then you can make the LLM to respond you back. So instead of having a straightforward yes, yeah, I mean it will be like a giveaway if I start working out on different options. My suggestion is think creative, think outside the box. Don't think about like a generic uh, section because it's already mentioned in the question, like why there is a specific section and why we are trying to attempt this. LLM that has never told yes, you need to get it to say yes. So think about different options. Like again, going back, nothing to do with coding. Two things which I can recommend you is nothing to do with coding. It's all about how you are developing your prompt so that uh, the LLM can respond you back with what you are requesting.
Okay, so thank you, sir. And about other questions, they have mentioned open API key, but we are using API pipe token. So, sir, why they have said in every question that use open API key?
Uh, I think wherever it is mentioned open API, I mean open API, we are replacing it with AI proxy or AI pipe, right? So this is this is basically more like a controlled setup. We are having when you say AI proxy, we have built the AI proxy, self-hosted AI proxy, and each proxy or the token has a specific credit limit, like $1 credit limit for a specific duration, so that you can do multiple attempts. So if you go for an open API token, that will definitely have like a specific expense that is incurred. Whereas with AI pipe or with other options, you can restrict or reduce the expense. Either you go with no expense or there might be minimal expense. I don't think that will get charged. Right now the AI pipe is, I think, 0.0001 cents per request. I think that's what it is.
Yes, Open API key limit has reached out.
No, no.
Uh,
If you're trying out, no, no. If you're trying out with for all the questions where there's an LLM API, I just mentioned that, and I also mentioned have listed the link in the top, the YouTube link. So we have covered this in week 3, session 1, especially with API tokens and the proxy. You can run through that specific YouTube video and understand the specifics. This is explained in detail in the learning session. So I don't see any hands raised. Any other questions? Oh yeah,
the last answer.
yeah, Kritik. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Good
So,
evening.
Oh, sorry, 1 second, Kritik. So Chahan, you had one more question. Yeah, go ahead, Chahan.
sir, in question 7, when I sir submitted code, okay, then it was running, but at the next day when I submitted, I am seeing that it is not done. Why, sir?
No, okay. So this is again GA3, right?
Yes, sir.
So GA3 question number 7, which is topic modeling. You have entered the answer and then you checked it, and did you save it?
Yes, I have
So
saved it.
okay. I mean, we have not come across this scenario where once you saved it, so whenever you save it, the session gets saved and we have the details added in. Unless until you edit that and then resave it, we'll have that older session which is what available. Um, we haven't come across a scenario where there is a browser-based session or session saving issue. Is this raised in the specific discourse topic?
Sir, I don't know about it, but in this question there is no use of any URL, means local server.
No, not that. No, no, John. So I was mentioning about the entire GAs which we have. All the GAs, if you type a specific answer in the answer box, check the answer, and it provides you good answer, or whatever we do, whatever, right or wrong. If you save the answer based on the button which is at the bottom of the page,
Yes.
if you save it, it will get saved in the session, which means that in our session. So as long as you're saving each and every session's answer, you will get that session saved in our end. So we are not sure why your specific section, your specific question on the seven, like the seventh question didn't save the data. I'm not sure why that happened. The best thing is, can you raise it in discourse? We want to understand why this happened in first place.
Okay, sir. Because I have did it 2 times, sir. The day before, previous day, I have did this question, and yesterday I have seen it that it is before it was working correct, but yesterday when I saw it, it was not working with that code. So I will post it in Discourse.
Understood. Yeah, please post it in Discourse because we haven't observed this earlier. Yeah, we haven't observed this, and okay, this happened for Ravi as well. So okay, was this okay? Raise it in Discourse. We'll want to address this why this happened because we haven't observed this in our previous sessions. And one notice, just to remind everyone. So the question which you asked earlier, which is you wanted to force the LLM to say yes. Maybe one recommendation I have is make sure you are completing all the sessions and then have handling that because or saving it because if you try it once, make sure that you save it at that point itself because if you retry it once again, the LLM may not provide the same answer again for the question that says or where you want to tweak the LLM to respond you back with yes. Make sure that all your attempts, if you see one correct answer, save that session and make sure that that is saved because the next time when you try, it may not respond back the same. Yeah. Now I'll move on to Kritik. Yeah, love, yeah. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Sir, sir, I have a doubt. Like in graded assignment, this development tools, uh,
Correct.
and and in graded assignment two, we looked after deployment tools like Enrock, and
Hmm.
we also looked after this image compression and all. So
Yeah.
I feel like even if I try to learn deeper, I feel like I'm just learning them shallow only. I think you are getting my point. Like we are having lots of concept to cover within weeks. So I just require from your side an idea to complete all the topics which we need to cover the further graded assignment.
Okay, okay. So the course is designed slightly in a different way. So this course, you could see that most of the heavy lifting happens in the first couple of weeks, because it involves multiple tools and multiple. I mean, when I say tools, it both from a development and a deployment perspective. But as you go down, I mean, I think most of the course content will be accessible. If you go to data sourcing, data preparation, data analysis, that will be more on a lighter tone. When I say lighter tone, it's specifically you will get tuned with the deployment, or let's say how you want to deploy application or develop a specific API endpoint. So questions which you come or deal with later sections are, you won't have much involvement with respect to new tool. So we make sure that the first 2 to 3 weeks, you run down through all the tools, all new concepts, everything, and then it's more about using them, the concepts, and then understanding how we can utilize it with different source of data, or different options with data, or different ways of which we want to do data analysis, regression, correlation, or any kind of specific analysis that we do with data. So this is all about how the course is set up. Now, going back to the question on, okay, let's say there are in development tools we have like 12 different tools or 13 different tools. Now we may not go in depth of all the tools. The purpose here is, this is exactly set in the way how you have a professional career, or like moving into a specific job. You won't have like you can't be an expert in all tool, but you need to have the output that is, or you need to deliver certain outputs in a given period of time. To deliver a specific output, you may have to use multiple tools. It can be single tool or a combination of different tools. And to utilize them, all you need to know is what you need to understand the boundary limit. Like if you're trying to attempt a specific activity with a tool, you need to understand what is the boundary condition, how is the tool responding back, and what are the other sections that I need to cover, so that it is capable to handle the specific request that I'm raising. So whatever you see in this course content is set up in such a way that if you are using a specific dev tool, we are covering only specific dev tools which will handle out the remaining sections. Like when you deploy a project, or when you work with a specific graded assignment, you work with an LLM. What are the details that you need to look at the Chrome dev tools? One simple example is, if you want to teach Chrome dev tools, that itself is a bigger concept, and it has different aspects. There could be a web application troubleshooting that can happen with a dev tool. There are lighthouse, and there are a few other additions, like you can see the response time and do work on the application optimization. So each tool, whatever we are covering, may not be serving just one purpose, but serve multiple purpose. We try to understand what purpose we want to use, and then limit our specific section, or the course content within that use case, and make sure that the tool is able to handle that use case without any problem. And if there's a problem, we address that specific use case. If you take bash commands, or understanding Linux systems, understanding Linux systems can itself be a different course. So the course can vary, or the depth can vary, but whatever we have set in this place is specifically to understand and utilize the course content for the current purpose which we have in this course, using LLMs, or be it the data analysis, how we can use different tools in data science, and specifically focusing on data science related deliverables.
Hello,
Yeah,
sir,
getting
but
sir.
Yeah.
but still, sir, on but in 3 weeks, many tools, it's little bit overwhelming.
The see, that's a challenge. So as I mentioned from the beginning of the section, beginning of the session, see, GA1 is basically the reason why we wanted to have this setup is we have worked out multiple setups. If you see the evolution of TDS, right, from a couple of years back. We have been working on different ways to handle TDS, and so far it's been very so each one version will have a different scenario. There were one sessions where we had data analysis as the first section, like data collection, different types of data, and then we started with different types of data analysis, then go with the modeling for data, and then image data, and then go with spatial data, storytelling with data. So the course has itself evolved in different ways. Right now, we have set up the course in such a way that you are familiar with the deployment. So the reason why you have multiple tools and multiple uh, both development and deployment tools is making sure that you are able to develop the application and we are able to verify that application. So as I mentioned earlier, this will be like the first couple of weeks will be on the higher side, like heavily loaded, where we'll have multiple things to learn. But as we go through the course, you'll feel it lighter because you won't have much things. I won't say much things to learn. You'll have like you'll be familiar with the concept so that it's easy for you to work out. And the course is amazing, but we need more support for the debugging. We have the learning sessions, Ravi. So we have the learning sessions. We have different learning sessions. We have TAs. We have instructors. You can reach out to us. You have the discourse post. You can see us active in discourse. So let's say if you are facing a trouble and need a debugging, please raise it out. Please raise it out in all options which we have. You can raise it out in any of the learning session. I think every learning session starts with first on specific questions that we need to address, and then where we move on. If there is something which we are not able to recreate, we request you to load it in Discord so that we are able to check that out. And if that needs separate session, I think Jivraj is and everybody in the team is trying to reach out and then figuring out whether we are able to solve your problem. So definitely it needs much more support in debugging. But the question is on how we raise it and when we raise it. So the earlier you raise it, the easy for us to schedule and then plan. So my recommendation is if you have a GA1 and you feel that coding is not your skill, I would recommend you to start from GA1 whenever it is available. Like let's say tomorrow we have a GA4. Start it from day one. Day one, attempt all the questions and see where are what are problems you're facing, and raise the questions in discourse or raise the questions in the learning session. So before the specific session closes, you'll be able to get that. So each GA had 10 days. So if we effectively work for the first couple of days, if you work and then you have problems, you can raise it up. It will get addressed in the next couple of days, and then you'll be able to resolve.
Sir, and one more thing is like if you take other subjects like if you take MLF, MLP, MLP, there and all we are having the specific faculties having the recorded YouTube video playlist and all. But if you take TDS, we will be having several different things for different apps. I think you are getting the point. So can we expect any new playlists from your side so that the faculties from IITM will be teaching us, and it will be direct to TDS, unlike the other YouTube videos which are suggestions as shown in the.
Okay. So are you able to? Okay. So the question is, so there are whatever sessions we conduct, we have those sessions added in, and you have the learning sessions. So let's say if is this a question about if you want to learn about web application, there could be a separate course on web application. Whether we can link that course or whether we can have access to that course. Is that the question, Kritik?
No, sir. Actually, that's what I'm telling. Is like that's I'm just saying my difficulty. Like if you go through a website of TDS.s, that website will be there, no sir, where we are submitting our assignments. There I'm just seeing to all the videos. At least I will be clicking that at least for once. But if you take certain concepts and all, there will be some what to say. Their accent will be different, or they'll be beating around some other topics than the topics which we are submitting in assignments.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it was that is I'm not saying that the contents are bad; they are good only. But I feel that they are going to some other way and they are very generic actually at certain times. If you take Enrock and some other things and all, I felt it. I don't know whether it's my fault or I should put more efforts. I don't know what to do. So that's why I'm asking this. Because if you take Enrock and all, I didn't even properly attend it in GA2.
So let me do. So, so
Sure.
Ngrok is all about tunneling. So if you take the tunneling section in our deployment tools, you will have a 60 seconds video on tunneling, and then you have a basic understanding on tunneling. Now, the next thing is on when you try with GA2, you will have a specific question on tunneling, and you will also have videos attached to the specific way how you can handle it. The key word is if I mean the both GA2 as well as the specific 60 seconds video of Ngrok to a certain extent is capable enough for us to arrive at a conclusion of how Ngrok works. If there is still a problem, I think we had Ngrok session. I can even pull out. So did you check out the? I mean, the live sessions which we had, the learning sessions. Uh, were you able to get a sense of Ngrok, or are you still having a specific question on Ngrok? So Kritik, my suggestion here is see there are different ways and there are different perspectives how we learn. One thing is uh, see the idea where Anand and everybody in the team is aligned with a specific idea that we need not have multiple like 1 hour or 2 hour videos to explain a concept because you lose the interest and all these longer session videos doesn't work out and that's how the latest social media trend as well go. We don't have like the bigger YouTube videos but smaller reels and shorts. So essentially we want every individual concept to be short and crisp so that you are able to go through a video and then directly deploy the answer. So that's one of the philosophy that went into why we wanted shorter videos. Second thing is we thought we can have learning sessions. There were learning sessions even went up to 3 hours, 4 hours, trying to resolve problems in our earlier term. I think this was one of the project sessions where we were explaining, trying to work out on different options, different problems. Uh, so there are learning sessions. Now the question is, let's say using learning session as well as the content course content, you will have a basic understanding of what Ngrok is, at least a basic understanding. Now the question is, let's say if you're having still a problem on the logical way of okay how the Ngrok works or the logical question, you can still raise it out in discourse, you can still collaborate, you can still raise it up in the learning session with the question. So the depth comes with the questions that are raised. So if you wanted to go under depth, you can still raise up the question if you are able to, I mean as I mentioned earlier, even if you ask me if I am a master in Ngrok, no, I'm not a master here. We know exactly Ngrok, the specific purpose for which we want to use and how to use it. If you have a specific question, we may not be able to answer you immediately, but we'll try to figure out and then get you or source you some other detail where you can get the answer for Ngrok. On top of that, you also have Chat GPT and all the LLMs in this version. So any specific question, you can even ask the LLM to get the answer. So we have all these sorts of options to learn the knowledge. Now the question is, if you raise a specific question, we'll understand what is that item that is missing, and then we'll either feel that there are multiple things which we add up on regular basis. You can see that Jan 2025 term may not be the same as the term which we have now. There are things that are added here. So based on anything which you believe or which you want to raise it out as a part or which you learn and you are not able to understand, please raise it up in all forums and raise it up as questions. Rather than expecting for a lengthier content, think about the specific logical question which you have and then raise the logical question. If you have Ngrok and think about, okay, it says Kubernetes. So is there a Kubernetes deployment? So how do you run Kubernetes deployment? How does the migration between one deployment to the other one works? So there are different other concepts. They may be relevant or they may not be relevant, but if you are interested to learn, just raise out those questions. So either we'll be able to point out to a specific section or specific course or specific link where you can get the answer.
Yes, sir. So it
Yeah.
should not be like, so even if I am not able to understand it today, can I raise it in next session, sir, if possible? That is, I'm just asking.
No, if you don't understand the question I say is specify like what the so when you say you don't understand, you can raise it up in see, don't worry about asking which is the dumbest question. I think the best way to learn things is ask even if the question is dumbest. I can literally ask. I never never fear of asking any dumb question. If you're not able to learn, you can still go from the basics in a learning session where we are talking about Ngrok, or if there is a learning session that is so even in the learning session, if you're not able to cover ngrok, you can still raise out a specific basic question in discourse, and there will be different sections where we have. And the other option is, see, unlike other courses where we some courses allow collaboration, we are like, as we mentioned, you can use llms, you can use collaboration. So let's say you can collaborate with us, you can collaborate within peers. There are multiple ways you can learn. There is no restrictions with respect to tds. So if you have a basic question like ngrok, start up with a question. Okay, there's a say that ngrok is this. So how do you do that? And when we say, if there is nothing late to start. So if let's say you are not able to understand ngrok, you are not able to work on ngrok for GA2, still you have time. You can go back to the videos, go back to the live session, go through all the discussions that have been made. Still you are not able to work on, raise it up in discourse.
So I think I have to start using the discourse actually, because usually
Yeah,
we
because
use
so
discourse of
discourse
others.
is exactly, discourse is basically both as a learning platform as well as if the project one is completely on discourse threads and discourse I mean course content and discourse threads. So I would recommend start using discourse, start bringing out, raising up questions and live sessions.
Sir.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem that it's not a delay that so I missed my that so I didn't perform in GA2. I can still learn for it and I can ask questions about it
Yeah,
later on.
definitely. I mean, there is nothing like we, okay, the chapters are closed, you're not going to use it. I mean, throughout the course, you'll be using these tools. That's how it is designed. So the questions, if you miss it out, still you have time. You can still learn up and then you study and work so that you are able to deploy a project one and it will be used in project two. ROE, I mean, ROE, it may or may not be, but so these are like the tools which are essential tools. So it's better you can start learning now and then raise up the questions. The only thing is we have all these questions sectionized so that it's easy. So whenever you raise something with ngrok, you can go back to GA2 and raise that question, and never think about that it's already GA2 is closed, or you have to think of other options. Raise out everything in discourse. Even for GA1, any development tool, you have a question, raise it up.
Thank you.
Okay, I think
Sir,
we can, yeah. Yes, Jawan.
Sir, I am thinking to purchase a new laptop, MacBook with M4 chip. So, for my whole BS degree, it will be compatible, or should I go with Windows?
Okay, so see, for I won't recommend you to buy a new laptop for the tool, because this tool TDS can cover in all sorts of environment. That's how we are helping out, and there is no restriction with respect to specific platform. With respect, I mean, be it Windows, we have WSL; be it Linux, you can directly load Bash. Mac, you can use Brew and Homebrew and other ZSH for any kind of terminal command. So there is no restriction as of with going for a Mac M4 or for any other laptop. The only session is, if you have certain specific or adherence to a Mac, go ahead with Mac. There is no problem. But for specifically for using or deploying tools or going out with different options and tools in data science, there is no restriction on the laptop that you need to buy. You can buy any laptop, any laptop or any system should support it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then I think we'll wind up the session today. Um, okay, I'll close out last with Karishma's question. Yeah, go ahead, Karishma.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I just want to know, um, is there any break for the paradox, or the class will remain continue?
When you say break for a paradox, you mean the GAs or what?
Yes, sir. No, not
Okay.
the G, but the
Mm.
lecture.
No, I think as I mentioned, the heavy side of learning will be in the first couple of weeks, where you go through different tools, go through deployment tools, go through LMs, which might be very new, very difficult. But as we go through the next sections like data sourcing, you can yourself go into the data sourcing sections, and if you see it's more to do with how you use Excel for data preparation, like splitting text to columns. So this will be on a lighter side. And I don't see as of a break at this point. You can see the tools in data science, what is covered in the 12 weeks, and the different schedule that has been put here. So project one right now we have GA3 that is due by okay, GA3 was complete due by, I mean, sorry, GA3 June 25th, right? Oh, I think
1 June.
1st June.
sorry, 1st June. Yeah, 1st
Yes.
June. Yeah, I think okay. This is the early one. So for this is 1st June, and project one is 14th June, and you have the rest of GAs in different segments. I don't see a specific break at this point with respect to the different course content.
Because I got a mail for the MLP subject,
Mhm.
and they have not taken the TA and live session till 22nd, sorry, 20th June.
Oh no, I don't think we have any specific break at this point. If there is a break, we will definitely let you know. Probably we may have it at the later end when we see that there is nothing much to cover on like a regular basis. Like once you have a deployment and development tools done, I think the learning sessions might reduce, not very frequent, because something which you cover at a later stage, once you're familiar, you will have like few sessions that can cover the entire
One more thing, sir. I have gone through all the videos of lecture
Mhm.
week 1 and week 2,
Mhm.
but still find difficulty in that thing to cover or to get the answer. I just cheated or used GPT and all, but still struggling with the topics. So, sir, I just want to know, like, I go through system command recording videos which are given on the portal, and also going through different YouTube video, but still struggling to get a basic thing. So what basically basic questions come in my mind during the installation, and during writing all the or copied all the commands which are given on the week wise content to start. But there are so many things where we have to uh, catch few things from different topic and few things from different week topics. So um, like, I just don't know from where to take from which thing and from where to start.
Yeah, see, one thing is good for you. LLMs were able to support you. I think that we already mentioned you can use LLM, you can use collaboration. There is no restriction on how we want to complete this course. But the objective here is to make sure that you are able to understand and use the tool. I won't say master the tool because that's a different option. Now, understand again, you can see the course content gives you a crisp note on what needs to be covered. Some of them will be able to capture that crisp note that's sufficient for them, but for few others they need to understand much more because that might not be relevant. So when I say relevant, so it doesn't depend upon what you have learned. It's more like a perspective. Some of them would like to know more in detail so that they get a better understanding of how the tool works. So we have separate session. So I hope you have access to all the playlists, the YouTube playlist by our
Yes,
TAs.
yes, sir.
So
I
yeah,
I have the
so
access.
they do a hands-on session, a walkthrough on how to go with WSL or how to the basic bash commands and each and every option. So whatever is covered both from a TA session or with respect to what we have provided in the portal is sufficient enough for you to run the course like what you want to achieve here.
So
Anything?
what
Yeah.
what actually like after doing this diploma and in this subject, what basically we are doing in this subject? Like, I'm not completely understand the thing. I know we are learning the tools to get the or to solve the questions, but I'm completely from a different background. I'm from biology background, and now I'm struggling to find where I'm going, the direction I'm not finding, where this will take me. like what I have to do. I'm giving an interview in so many companies, and because of the IIT, there is a recruitment for recruiters comes, but still finding difficulty in the thing, like um what question frame they will give me and what they want me to do,
So,
because after learning all these tools, where we use that.
so, okay, Karishma, there are two different things which you mentioned. I'll take that up and then close the session today. So,
Okay.
one thing is on different jobs which you apply. So, each job will have a specific job role and a job requirement. So, whenever you go for an interview, the specific questions will be aligned to that specific job. If you're applying for a, let's say, model validation in a specific financial sector, you will be working on model validation, which means that there are different machine learning models and statistical models that financial institution may use for different option like credit default or whatever different cases. So their questions will be based out of model validation and model. So I so to answer the first question on okay what they may ask or what how you want to get prepared, that is more subjected to the specific job role that you're applying. uh, and it may not relate specific to
So,
this course,
okay, I'm
but it's a
simply
general note.
simplify this. In our resume, what we add about this subject, what we can add.
Okay, so I would, yeah, to answer, I was about to answer the next question. So the next question is on, see, one of the biggest things, or I mean, one of the things which most of the companies focus now is on open source contribution. When we say open source contribution, let's say there is a open source tool, something like I think Enrock itself open source only. So I think yeah, Enrock. So you have something in Enrock. So you can deploy your own tool, have that project in GitHub, and you can have, if that is publicly accessible, you can have it as a public repository. So what this course can provide you is two things: how to build application, and next thing is not just build application. You can build, deploy it, store it in a repository. If you think okay, what the specific course can add it in your resume, you can build something which is very relevant to you, and then have that application built, have that application repository publicly open. And to make that happen, you will have all the, I mean, you can use a course to understand how the Git works. You know how the Git works, right? So some of the things which the usual software companies work is on, they go to your GitHub profile and see what your contributions are, what you have built so far. The simple thing is, let's say you have a resume, right? So a simple resume, most of them have profiles. In these days, everybody have a website which will have a profile under your name, and it will showcase what you have done in different projects, what you have done, what certifications you have completed. Let's say you have a website just explaining about what you are, and that's a profile website. And if you check out different organizations, whenever they ask you what are the websites that we can know more about you. One is LinkedIn, other is Twitter, and you have Tableau public
Get.
profile, you have Git, and you can have one more website. So in Git, if you want to have, let's say, you can have one project which says how you are able to deploy an LLM application that can respond back any questions that a user asks based on a content that is preloaded. Now, instead of saying that you build an LLM that, I mean, LLM that can answer the question, instead you have like a specific content, and the project one which we have here, that's basically what we are talking about, an LLM application that can answer a question based on a specific content, curated content. And that is what you can use it as a specific um detail for your resume. Like if you want to explain about a project, you can explain about a project where you have built this LLM application. You can run down through all the case. That's how this course will help you on getting or landing in a job, and moreover, not just landing in a job, like also to work in a professional environment where it doesn't make I mean, where it makes more sense to do collaboration, more sense to understand deliverables and provide deliverables on time, rather than, I mean, so when we want to deliver something on a specific date, we make sure that it's pre-planned. And if we have not every deliverable is something which you know, so there could be some deliverables where you don't know something and you have to work with other departments in like a professional environment. So you have to make sure that you call the or you reach out to the other departments or other colleagues, peers way early, because they will have their own jobs to do, so they can assert something. So it's more like planning yourself how to solve a problem that you are surely not true, like truly clear, like how to do it. That's something you learn through the process of doing, rather than learning it and performing. So you have to gradually
Okay.
learn as you do. So that's what this course will help you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll wrap the session. And uh, the last question is, last recommendation is, please raise out all the questions in Discord and use all the specific forums so that we'll be able to reach out to you and solve the problem.
The deadline of project one is
June 14th.
14 only, no, sir.
Yes.
Because now I checked in website, it's showing like 31st May only.
No, it's June 14th.
Okay,
I know
sir.
that there are different options, but it's very clear. It's June 14th is the deadline for project one.
Got it, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.